What's up, guys? Huge market crash yesterday. Bitcoin went from about like 71 all the way down to 59. It was down, I want to say, like 15% in like half a day. And then now it's mean reverted, so it actually looks fine in the chart. But if you were there around yesterday, you were not very happy if you were longing anything. And everything else also went like crazy down. Like Zcash went down like 15%, like an hour or 30 minutes. Everything was doing that. So I'm going to go over that and talk about some of the lessons that I've learned from running bots, especially vibe coded ones, through market crashes. We still were up good this week. We're up $5,700. And also, if you left a comment, I will get to it. I've been sick for the last week, which was a horrendous time to be sick because we had two massive silver crashes, one for like 48%, I think. And then like the other one here was like, I think 25% from top to bottom, 27%. So, and then also like all the crypto and stock stuff yesterday. So crazy times, terrible time to be sick, but it is what it is. That's how market trading works. And so let's go look over really quickly and go over some of the liquidation data and see some of the articles. So I think the IBIT, the Bitcoin ETF, had like the most volume it's ever had. And there was like billions of liquidations too as well. You can see some of the articles here. But then today the Dow hit 50,000, so it literally just everything went up again. Even Nvidia, like mean revert on Hyperliquid. As a pro tip, you can actually look at stocks on here too. They have good volume on here. So let's look at Nvidia. Like even Nvidia, essentially just U-turned right back up. So and during crazy times, the most important part I think is to make sure your systems are in place so you can survive through the crashes. So these 3 points seem very simple, but they will help you a lot navigate these kind of market operations. So the first one is logging everything you can and making sure that your vibe coded agent is verbosely logging things. What do I mean by that? So when huge market crashes happen, there's gonna be a lot of things that break down, including the exchanges. If you've traded during any of these things, you know this. But the exchanges themselves break, and then also your code typically breaks. Why? Because, for example, let's say with my bot here, I was doing all these buys, and I was doing like them pretty infrequently, like time-wise. You know, it's not like every 2 seconds. But then when a market crash happens, the levels drop so much that I end up doing more buys. And so if I have something like a bug where I'm doing partial fills only, then my average cost won't be what I expect it to be. Or if orders are failing, I might not even get orders in. And so it's really important for next time, if your code does break, that you add really detailed logging. And so what you want to do is you want to tell your AI agent here, you just say literally the words add verbose logging to my local script. And it will then know what to do. And verbose just means like a ton of wording. And the reason why is, like I said, because when things break, you won't know what happened. And if you don't add tons of logging into your code, you won't know what the reasons for the breakage is. And so you won't be prepared next time. And if you're a trader, you know that these liquidation events are right around the corner every month. And so you know that the next one's coming up. So you might as well do it now so you can prepare yourself if your bot didn't work during this liquidation event for the next time. And the second thing I like doing too is adding alerts through Telegram and making your own notifications. So you can see an example here. Yesterday when I was doing a bunch of buys, I make sure to have everything that's important from either buys or sells or errors sent as notifications. Why? Well, when things kind of big moves are happening, let's say for example, like on pump here, you know, like if it's doing a ton of buys, I want to know what's going on because maybe I need to add more money into the account, or maybe I need to babysit it and make sure that I don't get liquidated. It's really important that you're watching these things, and when these kind of events are happening also, you're trying to like watch the news and see what other people are saying, and you don't really have time to go into your logs and like look at all these little lines happening in the code. And so it's very important to add a notification system. I like Telegram, and the reason why I like Telegram is because these AI agents are really good at it. So you could be like, add Telegram alerts to my local script. And then when you do that, it just knows it because, like I said, these AI agents are really good at Telegram. They produce the code for a bunch of people already. It's typically error-free. You can one-shot the prompt. And so you will get then notifications sent to your user handle on Telegram, and then you can see these things as they come in, and you can get a sense of what's going on. Because if you have a bunch of ones open, like I have at least 5 or 6 open, then you want to know like what's going on across all of them, and it's really hard if you're going into your code and the logs and looking at them like that. And then the last tip I have for getting through these events with your vibe coded system is letting the AI agents like Claude Code handle the operations for you instead of you doing the things. Why? Well, because sometimes like okay, let's say silver for example. I've had in the past where I've had to open more orders than I expected, and so you have to like I have a config, and you have to say it to the config, like how many orders you want to have as a max, just as a safety feature. But then when these events are happening, maybe it goes down more than you thought. So maybe like it was down 16% here silver yesterday. Maybe you were only expecting it to go down like 8% as a standard deviation. And then you have to do these things. Well, if you're doing them in the wild and like all these crashes are happening, you're stressed, it's way easier to make mistakes. You might end up like making it do less orders than you thought if you change the number in the file and then try deploying the file. And then so it's way easier if you just use the Claude Code instance at this point, because these things are so good that like if you tell it like update my local silver config to have 10 max buys, not 5, and also deploy it for me to my remote server, and also restart the bot on the remote server. Like those are 3 operations you'd have to do while also you're watching everyone else talk and stuff like that. And you can hand it to this as like an engineer and it'll go do it for you. And then you can go watch the news and make the actual decisions, like almost like you have an employee. So I like doing it this way. A year ago, I would not have said to do this. Like these things were not that smart, but now they're really good and they make way less mistakes, I think, than I would make during these times. And so when I want to have something happen fast, I just go to Claude Code and tell it to do it. It agentically will do it for me instead of me having to do it myself and potentially fat finger something and screw something up. So those are the 3 things I would recommend if you're looking to run your vibe coded bot in production during chaos like this. I would say make sure you log everything, use verbose logging, send yourself alerts of the most important things so you can keep your eyes on what's going on in the market. And then the last thing is let Claude Code, your AI agent, whatever you're using, do the manual operations for you so you don't have to do stuff yourself and potentially mess things up. And these events are never fun, but if you're a trader, you know these liquidation events are literally every month at this point or every 2 months. And you have stuff like NVIDIA going down, like, what is this? It's actually not much, 8%. But for some of them, like, they went down like way more. Some of the stocks and commodities and obviously crypto. And so when you have events like that happening, it's really important that you have your systems in place. So then the next time, if things didn't go right this time, then you can have your bots run correctly next time. And then there won't be as many mistakes. So that's it for today's episode. But I want to hear from you guys. If you're running vibe coded bots in production, what are you guys doing to prevent issues with your trading systems? I always want to hear from other people doing trading in the wild as well. So let me know in the comments if you're doing that too. Let me know any tips that I can learn as well. And see you guys in the next episode.